I'm not going to have you ask. I'm not going to actually have you ask a question and then cut me off and say that I'm parroting a narrative when I haven't even told you what my opinion was.
True.
That's not you being interesting. That's you being obnoxious.
True.
I think that you're trying to avoid answering the question.
By being.
You cut her off, but she's the one avoiding the question. What?
That like, oh, well, I can figure out exactly why this person became a billionaire. If they don't work in like public traded companies or something, how will you ever know? There's no way you're going to know that.
He did.
Then what's the question?
Like, he freaking tied her up in a knot right there. That was insane. Like, I'm sorry, Candace, but that hurt. That hurt to watch that. Another American rapper. At least she's not a Nicki Minaj clone or Cardi B clone or an Ice Spice clone. Like, oh my god.
Okay, we didn't need somebody talking about their vagina in order to feel seen.
But like, no, that's stupid. I hate that argument. Oh, you're not the same skin color, therefore you can't say nothing about it. No, Destiny is able to say whatever he wants about it. So for anyone that's going to be like that, I am not here for that. I hate that argument. It's stupid. It's retarded. All right, hello, my name is Mr. WhyzGuy. Welcome to my humble little channel. We're watching Destiny and Candace Owens. I had to make a video on this because we got Candace Owens, and as you can see, I got to make something on Candace Owens, right? And then we got Destiny, and I'm on like a Destiny arc right now. He's a cool dude. He's a fun guy. But let's go down the roster. Even though I just showed you guys, I'm going to show you him again. We got Candace. She's fun. I got my little zoom button. She's a person that's on the right. She's like a conservative. She's on the Daily Wire. She does her thing with Ben Shapiro and all the other people that are on the Daily Wire. She has her own show and all that stuff. She has kids too. I actually didn't know that. She has 3 kids. Pumping them out. So yeah. Candace Owens, that's her. We also got Destiny. And everyone knows, if you're watching any of my videos, you know who Destiny is. He's a cool dude, smart guy. His name is actually Stephen Bennell. That's his real name. And or AK Destiny. I'm gonna keep calling him Destiny for the rest of this video. But yeah, that's him. He streams, he does research. He just had Candace Owens on his show, and yeah, it's time to go in. But before we get into the video, just remember to like and subscribe and come too. Thank you very much. Remember to sit back and grab a snack and enjoy the show.
With college degrees can't read well?
Yeah, what I'm telling you is yes. That's what I'm telling you. They're not the most literate.
What would I look up to verify that if I wanted to see like...
You got to do the research in your own time.
I have done the research.
Like, I'm happy
to...
It's not true. What do you mean it's not true? And I'm gonna tell you...
Okay, let me explain. Hold on, I'm sorry, because I've done a lot of...
Oh yeah, and before we actually get into the video, this debate, not gonna lie, there was a lot of... Both of them got some punches. I agree with Candace way more than I agree with Destiny, but Destiny caught her in some... He tripped her up a little bit, and it kind of hurts a little bit to watch, but he did, and you know what? I have to call it out. I got to call you out, Candace. So let's keep going.
They know you over there, right? Are you laughing?
Maybe. I know, I'm good. Do you know Adam over there?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just asked Adam. He was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I know Adam. Me and Adam are cool. I'm not as much sure about the PVD guy. I'm pretty... I'm a pretty far left guy, and I disagree with a lot of stuff they say.
But they got both on that show. That's why it's so great. I just did something with Chris Cuomo. He couldn't be further left. That's what I just did.
Yeah, I saw it. Well, but then we bring on left guys, it's usually to roast the fuck out of them. So,
do they?
That's not what happened at all.
Oh, that might not have happened this time. That's what I've seen. When I had Anthony Weiner on, it was that. When I've seen other left-leaning guys go on, it's usually like a rake him over the coals.
Well, one of them is on the left, right?
Which guy?
So,
Adam. Literally just talked about him.
I really thought that Adam just said I've never voted for a Republican, but I might vote Republican.
I think Adam is fair.
Yeah.
I think Adam is fair generally from what I've seen, but he's like center at best. And I'm not even like a communist type guy, but I mean like Adam was like pretty center. Like he's like a, I just don't think he's behind all the Trump stuff.
But why laugh if I'm like, I just went Patrick Bet-David? It's like, haha, like what's that?
Oh, sorry. In my world, there's a lot. There's always like a lot of drama and people hitting each other behind. So I just laugh because it's funny.
Yeah, there's a lot of little things that Candace picks up on, and she, I'm gonna say it before he says it, but that triggers her a little bit, and she just has to like pick on you about it. So I like that about her. Like that's, you know, it's some people find it annoying, but I think calling people out is what she does, and she does it great, and she does it best. Strong. Candace Owens is literally one of the strongest black women I've ever seen in my life. If you disagree with that, throw it down in the comments below. Like literally, write down. Oh, it won't let me. It won't let me go back. I can't show you. I'm sorry, but you know how to do it. Down below. Yeah, right down there. Yeah, do it. You can do it. It's easy.
I'm not sure if those guys hate me or not. I've been on their show once. They seem like cool people, but
oh yeah, literally right after Candace was. I'm sorry, I'm talking too much, but right, this will be the last time that I do something crazy like this. But yeah. After Candace went on his show, right? Destiny literally put out a little text. I hope I can find it, throw it in editing. But he posted a text saying, "No more saying proud black women in the comments anymore." Because he hates the fact that Candace is actually literally like a proud, strong black woman, or let the black women speak. Like I just find it really funny that Destiny decided to now say that right after he had Candace Owens on his show or on his stream. Very, very interesting. Shows the type of character he is. Yeah, no more saying that anymore, or you're gonna get banned or perma muted or whatever. I'll find the text, hopefully.
The Patrick guy has said kind of weird things about me or my fan base before, so it's kind of like a funny it's just a funny thing. There wasn't anything deeper to that, I promise.
Okay. No, I was just curious. I was like, because you would go on a platform with someone on the right, presumably.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, because you said, because I'm on the left when I asked you. And I was like, what does that mean? Like, why? We need more conversations. It doesn't need to be, I'm on the left, I'm on the right. It's like, what do you actually think? You know? What do you actually...
Called him out. Let's go. Thank you, Candace. Nice.
Actually believe.
Sure, I agree, for sure. Yeah.
What's literally the only agreement they're gonna have. This is gonna be great.
What are you talking about mainly over the past week or two? What's the stuff that's captured your attention, your eyes the most?
Man, I talk about everything on my show. I mean, obviously, I think the biggest topic for me has been the Diddy lawsuit. It's the craziest thing.
I have no idea what that stuff is. Just telling you straight up, the Diddy lawsuit. Who is that? I am super uncultured. She's way more cultured than I am.
I'm out, I think, since Jeffrey Epstein. And it's definitely significant because a lot of the work that I do is talking about or I guess really asking the question is what's happened to black culture? Because this is not the black culture that I grew up with. And the Diddy lawsuit potentially answers a lot of those questions. So
I don't know about you, but I think I can talk to, I guess, the black culture, right? If you don't think I can, well, throw it down in the comments below and tell me why. I want to see your comments.
Do you say where you grew up?
I was born in White Plains, New York, and I grew up in Stamford, Connecticut.
Ooh.
Okay. What can you catch us up on the P. Diddy lawsuit? I haven't been in this area as much.
Are you kidding?
My mind has been, I've done Israel Palestine for the last 4 years or 4 months, and then like a whole bunch of
4 years? What do you mean? 4 months? What are you talking about? I mean, he did misspoke and immediately fixed it. So I'm just calling him out, but he immediately fixed it. So it's not really that much of a dig. Whatever.
Red pill stuff before that, so my mind is not.
So, in case you guys have not seen it, you can go over to my YouTube channel. I've been covering it, and if you're there, definitely subscribe.
I swear, the amount of Red Bulls Destiny has, I have so many little comments, but it's the amount of Red Bulls I see Destiny drink. It's crazy how he's able to drink all those unless they're all sugar free and not gain anything. Like, look at this. This zero muscle here, man. Zero muscle. Oh wait, you can't even see it.
But so essentially, at the end of last year, Diddy was dating that girl Cassie for a long time, about 10 years.
Okay.
And she started making allegations that Diddy was very into some very sexually deviant things, that I would say.
Okay.
And forced her to do a lot of things against her will, or drugs, whatever. She files this lawsuit, and basically overnight. And what essentially his lawsuit suggests, allegedly, just for protection here, is that there's a black male ring in Hollywood. Diddy is a gangster. On top of Diddy sits...
sounds like black culture to me.
Who's the CEO of Universal Music Group.
I'm being facetious.
And this was, for me, one of the wildest parts. He tells a story about one night where Diddy got mad at somebody and just shot them in like the stomach and the hip. He shows the pictures of the blood all around the bathroom because he was right there when the person got shot, and he allegedly went to his knees and tried to help the person. It was Diddy and his son who allegedly shot him. But they saying that like they disappear into Diddy's room and for hours, and like this is the stuff that I've seen. I was groomed for sex. Like essentially he wasn't a gay man, but then Diddy found him when he was young. These are the allegations he's making. Again, a lot of photos like of other rappers. He's named like Cuba Gooding Jr., who's an actor.
Yeah.
it's a lot.
Is there has any of this stuff like leaked to the media in terms of like pictures or strong hard evidence, or are these mainly just in the charging documents or the civil case documents so far?
That's also what's really interesting is that yes, it's being covered, but not in the way that it should be covered. The fact that you don't know about it, to me, is crazy because we've never seen someone.
I mean, I don't know about it, but would you say that I'm crazy if I didn't know about it? Just saying. I mean, I am gun cultured, so you know what? You can say that I'm crazy about it. You know, I'll give Candace that one. I'm crazy. I mean, I don't pay attention to that stuff. Honestly, what you're saying, like rappers, I don't care for rap at all. So, but you know what? You're all about the black culture, and she speaks a lot of truth. So she kind of has to pay attention to that nonsense. So I'm not that type of person. I don't really care for drama.
Someone that with hundreds of hours of footage putting in photos like here's a picture of the drugs that I have to carry at all times to keep Diddy high. Here's the name of the woman that gets the drugs. Here's a drug dealer. Here's a photo of me with this person. Here's the blood on the floor that night. It's like we've never seen this much proof to make those claims. So it's definitely something to watch.
Somebody said, I just see in chat, somebody said over 100 million to the first civil suit that got settled in less than 24 hours. Is that true?
What's that? Over 100 million to
the first civil suit that got settled in less than 24 hours.
Did that happen with this?
I have no idea.
You might be talking about Cassie, because that got settled pretty quickly.
Oh,
and,
gotcha.
And yeah, that Diddy's basically just at the top of a gang, and the person that's above him is Lucien Grange, which is just wild.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think? You made a mention that this might be an indicator to things that have happened with black culture. What do you mean by that, I guess?
So there has been
spicy stuff now. Let's go.
Very obvious corrosion in black culture. Like the music that I grew up in, I was listening to The Temptations, Lauryn Hill. Like it was all about like family, love. It was real talent.
There we go.
And
I can relate to this.
Just really shifted, and it all became about derogatory, debased gangster rap. And it's the change that I've noted in a lot of my comments.
Well, I mean, I'm not old enough to know that I've grew up with that, what she just said, like the cold gangster, degenerate rap. That's why I never cared for rap. I'm like, it's just stupid. It's like, it's music. I'm not gonna say it's not music. I'm not down to Ben Shapiro's level of rap's not music nonsense, but it's not my cup of tea. I don't care for it. But I recently started listening to Tom McDonald, and now I understand why rap is pretty good. Tom McDonald's pretty based. I like his stuff. It's good stuff. He made rap. I'm not going to say that. Actually, no, I am going to say this. Tom McDonald made rap great again. Let's go.
Commentary and
true.
You know, I think other people have. Like I asked the question. There's a really, in my view, disgusting artist, just in terms of the stuff that she publishes and the photos that she publishes, named Sexy Red, who they're now.
Wait, who is this? I don't know who this is. We're going to look her up right now. All right, so we got American rapper. By the way, I've never heard of this person before, but okay. Just seeing how the way she kind of dresses, I understand why Candace doesn't like her. She first received attention online in 2018 after reworking whatever this is, 1,000 miles for her track on 1,000 Jugs. Okay, those are just titles because I'm like, what is that supposed to mean? She later co-starred in the music video for Summer Walker's 2022 song, the name of the song that I'm not going to say, Wikipedia born. Oh my God. What? She is so close to my age. What am I doing? 1998. Almost to the year. Let's go. All right, well, this is Sexy Red, and now I know who she is. Another American rapper. At least she's not a Nicki Minaj clone, or a Cardi B clone, or an Ice Spice clone. Like Cardi B and Nicki Minaj, they're like identical. I have no idea how. I know I'm gonna get heat for that, but Nicki Minaj, I like Nicki Minaj because she was literally the original, and then Cardi B just looks exactly like her, just copied her, and then Ice Spice ended up looking like her. When I say clone, I mean like the body type. Like all three of them just look, except for Ice Spice. I mean, her face doesn't look like it, but body type is basically the same. It's basically the same.
Making a thing, right? Who makes the decision to sign a Sexy Red? You're telling me you have all the money and all the talent at your fingertips, and you sign a woman who, at her baby shower, 9 months pregnant, however pregnant she was twerking and had her butt cheeks in, like, somebody's face was inside of her butt cheeks. That to me is very intentional, because
They're talking about Sexy Red. Oh my God, seriously?
Following, you're signing her because it's filth, and you're perpetuating this filth into my community. So it's just something that I've noticed, something I talk about often, that we're intentional.
In her opinion, it's filth, but in her opinion, I obviously don't second that opinion, obviously.
Being sold crack, it feels like, you know.
So, I'm trying to think of which direction I want to go.
Any direction you want. I'm an open book.
Yeah, you're fine. There are okay, so there are like two.
All right, I'm only gonna say this once because I hate this this comeback, but like people are gonna be like, oh, look, Destiny, this Destiny person is gonna talk about. No, that's stupid. I hate that argument. Oh, you're not the same skin color, therefore you can't say nothing about. No, Destiny is able to say whatever he wants about it. So for anyone that's gonna be like that I am not here for that. I hate that argument. It's stupid. It's retarded.
Two kind of different ways of viewing this, and I feel like you fall more to one side, and then I'll go my side, and then we can kind of see if we can iron out or figure where we are at. I guess in the middle here. I feel like when you look at the evolution of, when we say like degenerate black culture or degenerate black music, I think we're generally talking about like the beginning of hip hop and rap, and then kind of the evolution of that going forward, coming away from like the R&B singers and everybody like in the 50s, 60s, 70s, whatever, right?
Yeah. But hip hop isn't always filth. But yeah, I get your point.
But that seems like
we're
the general.
generalizing.
Yeah. It feels like when I look at music, or if I look at music that people create, oftentimes the music is a reflection of their circumstances. And you can see, especially as America and the black communities became more conscientious maybe of the ghettos that they'd been kind of pushed into, or the policing situations that they'd had to be a part of, or drugs destroying their communities, et cetera, et cetera. And then those people turning to crime, that you also see the music and the art kind of reflect those conditions. And then those pieces of art that get created, especially the music, end up being like worldwide popular. Like the most popular genre of music in the world is like hip hop and rap. So when I look at people pushing,
I don't disagree.
Today, I'm like, okay, well, we got two really big, in my opinion, I went to school for music. I don't know if you talk about the saxophone or whatever. So we had two really big contributions to the world of music from America. One was jazz, that came basically from the black community, and then the second was like rap and hip hop. These forms of music become popular. People see that it's popular. They want to get involved. Obviously, the money men, the people on top, they want to kind of continue to push this because it's popular, and everybody around the world consumes it. I feel like there are a lot of market forces at work that kind of perpetuate this and keep this happening. And that feels pretty satisfying to me to explain what's going on. So when we ask, like, why is it a woman twerking with somebody's face in her butt cheeks? Because, well, for whatever reason, that's like what the worldwide culture seems to want to see right now. And then on the...
I disagree with that. I disagree with that. I don't think in general people want to be seeing that in the World Wide Web. Like, if that's no, I don't think people in general want to see that. Like, comment down below. Would you be interested in seeing that? What Destiny literally just described? Like, tell me.
On the other side, it feels like from...
And if the majority of you actually say yes, then I'll eat my point. But if the majority say no, then I don't stand corrected.
People, I don't want to just say conservatives, but I would say broadly speaking, I guess I'll say on your side in general, it feels like there's this idea that there's this much more intentional or like malevolent force working behind the scenes.
Yes, there is. And so I'm going to push back on what you're suggesting here. You're suggesting that this is...
You don't necessarily need to push back on that, because there is a subsect of people in the world that do want to watch that. I just don't think it's in general that what most people would be interested in looking or watching that type of content or listening to that type of content. I think there's a small subsect that that has like a high affinity to that type of stuff. But I don't think I think Destiny's wrong when he's basically saying a general, like when he says in general, most people around the world want to see it like that. No, I don't think most people is interested in that stuff. I think there's a good amount of people in the world, but I don't think that's most people. So, but you don't need most people to make a profit. So that's also another thing. But yeah, I don't think you need to disprove that though. Like, I guess I'll let Candace go on.
This reflects the community, and they're sharing their stories in a way that makes sense. That's completely not true. Okay, WAP does not reflect the circumstances that Black people are living in. So singing about your vagina and how hard it's getting pounded is not the circumstance of living in the hood. I come from
exactly
that did not make me feel closer to the circumstances that I grew up in, and unfortunately, that's actually what people are telling Black Americans. Like, actually, it's working the other way. You're putting something, your eyes and your ears are the windows to the soul. And you're basically, when you celebrate someone, and I'm using Cardi B here as an example because I think people are probably more familiar with her than they are with Sexy Red. When you put someone like that on the Grammys stage, which is, again, a decision being made. When I was growing up, the best, most talented people were on the Grammy stage. It was something you could watch with your family. And you still had poor people. You still had poor people. You still had people that were living in the hood. Okay, we didn't need somebody talking about their vagina in order to feel seen. So what you're
that's literally okay. I'm gonna look this up right now. That's literally what Cardi B did. Oh my god. And you already know what the WAP stands for. It's wet, and then the A word, and then the female P word. Yeah, great. I don't like saying those words. It's gross, but whatever. Let's continue on. It's yep. That's the thing. Good job, Cardi B.
Is you're setting the
Cardi B is a role model to the Black community, 100% based, right?
Stage for younger girls who aspire to celebrities to say, okay, well, if I mimic that behavior, I too can become famous. What you're actually doing is you're setting the idols that people are going to look up to, and people are going to think this is what I should aspire to. So it's actually working in the exact opposite way.
Can I ask a question? In that like evolution of things, so if we look at like WAP in particular, hasn't it generally been the case that music is always kind of pushing these sexual boundaries? So it might have been Elvis grabbing his crotch and dancing. It might have been Michael Jackson's dancing is incredibly suggestive, if you've seen that. It might have been in Woodstock, all the loser hippies talking about love, sex, and rock and roll and drugs. Wouldn't like WAP just be kind of like the next evolution in a long chain of...
You didn't have to say no to that. You could just say yes. But then you could just say it's not generally yeah, sure, this is definitely another push into a more extreme, like it's a big push or a big leap over the line in extreme, but like you shouldn't say no to that. Like that's obviously true. That doesn't mean that saying yes to that question doesn't make the rest of his statements on what he was talking about, the culture in general, being more interested in that stuff, be correct. Like I don't understand why she couldn't like bite this little minor bullet on this, but she had to just argue with him on this one.
Pushing boundaries is not degeneracy, okay? And so here's what I'll say to you. Why don't you pull up the lyrics to WAP and read them?
Oh, she has a different definition of what pushing boundaries means. Yeah. But she also has different boundaries. So she thinks this is just way out of line. Like that's probably her perspective on this. That's probably why she's responding this way. In my mind, I would definitely say this is a boundary, a really big leap in the pushing of the boundaries, but I'm not going to say that this isn't pushing the boundaries. It definitely is, but it's not indicative to a bunch of people wanting to listen to this stuff now. Like it's being forced. I think it's definitely being fed to a lot of people to watch this stuff, to think that and normalize it basically. So, yeah.
Them right now.
Well, why would I need to do that?
Cool, it's just Woodstock. We're just pushing the boundaries a little bit. You probably have never even read the lyrics to WAP.
I think I did, because I think Ben Shapiro had a huge thing about it.
Yeah, I was 100% correct on that statement. Her what she thinks is pushing boundaries, this is way over the line of just pushing boundaries, and that's why she can't agree to the fact that this is like pushing the boundaries of like what's going on with music and stuff right now. But she thinks this is way out of line, like just far gone beyond, like she can't even fathom, that's my criticism for Candace.
He couldn't have said, you may have seen him.
She's not as open-minded. I definitely, that's a good criticism for Candace. She's not as open-minded, but you know what? That's her thing. And I think I respect it. I respect her stance.
Him reading the sanitized version of WAP, not the one that is not sanitized. Like the sanitized one, which is still bad, that she can perform at the Grammys, is what he read. You should read the lyrics to WAP before you make commentary that it's a reflection of what Black Americans are living through, or it's just somebody that's pushing a boundary. It's not that.
How do you explain that?
Oh, no. Whether it reflects everything, yes, but whether it's pushing a boundary, I still agree that it's definitely just pushing a boundary. It's not pushing a boundary. It's definitely pushing a boundary. Like, Destiny's right on that one. But like I said, her definition, I'm going to repeat myself. I'm sorry.
The fact that like WAP was like a #1 like worldwide hit then.
Because what I said to you is that they are artificially creating artists at this point. There's no question. And by the way,
the way she says it, it just sounds like a conspiracy theory, but she's not wrong. Like, if you find someone that you want to push and you like their stuff and you want to push it out to the public, then yeah, you can artificially make it, but like it's normal. That's normal for them to do. Like, they found, like, an agency found some talent that they want to like show to the world, and then the world sees it and either rejects it or likes it. No one knows, like, no one knew they wanted the iPhone before the iPhone was invented, right? Like, that's my analogy. Now, maybe it's a bad analogy, but that's a good analogy. That's a good analogy. I should be more confident in that one. Yeah. Like, no one knew they wanted an iPhone before no one knew that they wanted an iPhone before the iPhone became a thing. That's true. 100%. Because if you don't know what something is, then how would you know that you want it? All right. True. Let's go.
Diddy docs, which I found to be a very compelling point, was that Diddy said to the guy, allegedly, who was the producer, that if he was willing to engage in homosexual behavior with him, that he would get him Producer of the Year Grammy. Okay,
allegedly.
So what does that tell you? It means that the entire system is artificial. And by the way, this is something.
I wouldn't say the entire system is artificial. I mean, that definitely showed. That's evidence too that the system could be artificial. Like, true, but I think it's a mix of artificialness and natural talent. That's what I think.
That Kanye said 10 years ago, or however long ago it was, when he took the trophy from Taylor Swift and said, like, this is all fake. This is not even based on merit anymore. And that is my point. The industry is not based on merit. It's not based on capitalism. It is based on selling ideas. So it is, who do we want to artificially make the person that every Black girl will look up to, or who they will aspire to? And
so I can definitely understand that, like, maybe award shows can be rigged, or people can think different things about you know, who's being awarded
Look at that. Some common ground. Let's go, Destiny. 100%.
based on merits for the Grammys or something like that. But like, WAP was genuinely, do you think it wasn't genuinely a popular song, or do you think that music execs have the ability to manufacture that desire publicly?
the latter. So if you start playing something tons of times
I think it's a little bit of both, but that's just my opinion.
on the airways, and the latter, you can definitely make something popular. There are songs that I don't even like, that I've heard so much that I know every single lyric to. And I'm like, I don't even know how I know every single lyric to this song, but it's received this many plays. You put it everywhere. You award the person, you invite them to bizarre circumstance. Like, there's absolutely no reason that Cardi B is invited to sit down and ask questions to Joe Biden.
So
In no scenario, unless you...
True. Like, out of all the people that Joe Biden decided to bring to the White House, why did you bring Cardi B? Like, what? There's so many, like, better representations of the Black community that you could bring there. Like, come on. Why would you bring Cardi B before you bring Candace Owens? Like, Candace is literally, like, the pinnacle of the Black American dream. Like, she's making so much money.
You are really making an effort to
And she's
legitimize
beautiful.
this person and to make this person aspirational. Again, this is not an insult to Cardi. I actually think that personality-wise, she's got a ton of talent and she's interesting. And I've said great things about her on Love and Hip Hop, and there are elements of her that make her a star. But what I am saying is that a lot of that is manufactured.
But Cardi B should not be someone you should be trying to aspire to be. No, she's not morally a good, actually, should I even say that? Okay, in my opinion, I don't think she's a morally good role model, but in general, and not just in my opinion, I think in general, she shouldn't be looked up as someone, young women should not try to aspire to be Cardi B or try to mimic what Cardi B is doing. Being an artist, yes. Doing exactly what Cardi B does, no.
And I just don't see how anybody, when looking
Don't you think it's
at-
entirely possible or easily possible? So like, I feel like there's like so many things wrong with this. So one is, why wouldn't competing record labels start pushing talent that's actually popular that people want to hear? I think that would be a big question. A second thing would be, how can we explain the top-down domination of this type of media popularity through all of our reality TV shows, all of our TikTok stuff, all of our YouTube videos, and the music industry? And
I think the music industry has grown. Like, it's not as competitive as Destiny thinks it is. Like, there's a lot of like, hey, you take this, we'll do this. There's a lot of cooperation within the music industry, which destroys lots of like little upstart, like up for labels that don't go into like the whole music industry complex. Like, it's definitely corrupt in there, and it's not as competitive as Destiny's trying to make it seem to be, because he has no idea. But what he's saying just sounds like why not? Like, isn't it like super competitive? Like, isn't people supposed to like if some talent isn't being used because of some dumb reason, like wouldn't other agencies within that industry like yeah, you can definitely say that for sure, but like it's not as open source or as competitive. I don't know specifics either, but I definitely know that. I mean, I mentioned Tom McDonald. Like, Tom McDonald is, no one wants to like put a label on him because he's super controversial, but he's still making a killing even though he's not within the music industry. None of his songs ever make like the Billboard or Top 100 or no, actually no, I take that back. Some of them did, but they don't really go that far, even though they're like super popular. And he makes it. If he wasn't super popular, he probably wouldn't be making that much money, but he's making a killing on that. Lots of money from his music and his music videos. But he's not in the music industry. And he always talks about how the music industry is corrupt. And I'm not going to listen to a guy that plays video games and streams, or a lady that doesn't really pay too much attention to music, before an actual person that's in the music industry itself. I would rather listen to that person because has way more experience, and that's literally what he does for a living, like just participating within the music industry or outside of it and trying to compete with it. But he's having a hard time. But I would like, he's more of the expert than these two. That's basically what I'm saying.
And then how can you explain that all happening worldwide?
Sure.
Like, it feels like that to try to explain this through
I don't think WAP is worldwide. Like, I think that's just an American thing. Like, it's in English too, so like you can just exclude all the other countries that don't know how to like speak English. Is this like being played in like, if when you say worldwide, basically just Europe, right? Is that basically what you're saying? I don't think WAP is worldwide. I think that's just a really big American thing right now. Like, imagine seeing WAP being played in China. Like, damn. See, I'm not going to say that.
people that are exercising control on these platforms would require more control than anybody has ever been able to exercise on any platform ever. And they're doing it like on a multi-country, multi-stage level.
It's just called, it's very...
Yeah, you're assuming all that. Like, this is happening everywhere. And you're making what Candace is saying. You're over-exaggerating what Candace is saying to make it look retarded. But that's not what she's sort of saying. But she's going to just double down and basically say, yeah, you know what, that is kind of how it is, and not being more specific, which I really wish Candace would be a little bit more specific, because then you can kind of just dodge his little debater tactics. Like, you're over exaggerating something that she said, and she's just gonna go with it because in Candace's mind it's a slight exaggeration, but she still thinks she can like prove that point anyway. So, and you know what, she sort of does the same thing that Destiny does. She doubles down and is super confident, even though she might not be able to like argue it, but she's super confident in making the claim.
very easy, actually. It's a very basic concept pertaining to governments. They need propaganda. Hollywood is propaganda. You should, for those of you that are watching this live, go listen to the conversation that Joe Rogan had with Cat Williams, where he talked about all of this.
But remember, propaganda isn't always negative.
And he said, I know you think that you're being entertained. And this is somebody that comes from inside of the industry. And he starts talking about the Diddy stuff, the idea that in order to climb higher, you kind of have to engage in nefarious behavior, and how he was collecting all of this information, and he was speaking out about what was happening inside of the industry. And he said it is twofold. You might be being entertained, but they are making decisions about what will entertain you. And a great circumstance in which he presented that as evidence of that is transgenderism. And he asked hold on.
Okay.
He asked a question.
Oh man, Destiny's like, why did you bring that up? I don't want to talk about that. He can't talk about the T word. I'm not even gonna say it. Ooh, it's a bad word.
Question, which should be answered. He said to Joe Rogan, and he laughed about it. He was like, a guy wears a dress on the red carpet, okay, and then the media tells you how great he wore the dress, and he's like, he said, tell me one situation where he didn't wear the dress wonderfully, when he didn't wear the dress in a way that was amazing. It's because they have all agreed that this is the narrative. And then he talked about the fact that the record execs also own the publications that are saying that something is amazing or something is not amazing. And that is just plain old-fashioned propaganda. So you don't necessarily need to detach what we're talking about from your concept of what governments are interested in. It's always propaganda.
So I understand Cat Williams has said this. I also understand that Cat Williams was at one point in his life addicted to crack, and I think he's famous for losing a fight to a high school kid. I think this like benched his career for a while.
Okay, you can insult him, but it doesn't.
I'm not insulting him. I'm just saying that
he says 2 + 2 = 4. 2 + 2 = 4.
I'm not insulting him. I'm just saying that to like lean into his testimony, who also we would both acknowledge has a lot to.
Yeah, he's not. I mean, he was insulting him by sort of saying that, but what he's doing is like destroying his credibility or something like that, like downplaying him. Like, maybe you shouldn't listen to this guy. Like, that's what he's insinuating. And Candace is pointing it out relatively intelligently. I don't know of a better word. Yeah, you shouldn't have insulted him. But I'm trying to think, maybe there's a better word of saying you shouldn't have insulted him. You shouldn't have like tried to like criticize. Well, I mean, that would be way too many words. Whatever.
Gain by giving like incredulous testimony like this, like saying like, oh my God, these crazy things are happening, right? I don't know if I would just say, well, right, he does. The fact that you're talking about him and you're citing him and you know it, right? If anybody else was saying a similar thing, we'd say, well, okay, they're saying this because they have something to gain for it, right? He knows that this is going to be a hot take, and he knows that it's going to go viral if he says it, and he knows he's going to get a lot of eyes on him for it. So I think it's good to call that into question. I think the issue that I have when it comes to the accusation that everything is some top-down level propaganda is I feel like the conversation shifts away from the important stuff, which is why are people attracted to this type of stuff? Why do people vibe with it so much? Why are we...
I don't think it's top-down all propaganda. I think that's too hyperbolic for me to say, but Candace can make her point.
Replacing traditional, better forms of media or more thought-provoking, I don't know what you would call it, forms of media with this type of stuff. Instead of having conversations about the culture and the society, it's all fixated on some weird top-down plot to like control media consumption.
I think you just like to be contrarian because I don't understand the point that you're making here. Like, of course.
Wait, hold on, wait. Let me restate that. I'm sorry. The point I'm making is very clear. If I was going to, I've got a almost 13-year-old son in a few days. Okay, if I was to see that he's consuming media, my go-to would be like, hey, Nathan, why are you watching this? This is crazy. We need to look at something else. I need to, like, who are your friends? What are you looking at online? Like, we need to change your media consumption habits because this isn't working. I would never think like, I think that the school is involved in disseminating media towards him and there's no way that we can change this. Because I feel like on your side of the story.
You can do both, Destiny. You can call out what's going on and say to you and literally do the same thing. Like, you're calling it out so other people could do the same thing that you said first. Like, you can just do both things can happen at the exact same time, right, Destiny?
People are basically like, we're hopeless. There's nothing we can do.
No, it's not hopeless, but if you want to be able to do something about something, you need to be able to acknowledge the something, right?
Exactly.
So you can't make it a conspiracy. It's like, no, when I graduated high school, there wasn't a single trans kid. Now you've got like more than 50% of kids that think that they're other. That is obviously propaganda. Clearly, it's just not possible that you didn't exist. Maybe there were.
That stuff is also regional too. And that's also very suspicious as well, because if this is just something that's natural, why are all these people spawning, like just coming out in a regional basis? Like, you don't hear about any of this in certain places, like in cities. There's a lot of this stuff happening in the cities, in the school cities, but like you go out into rural America, like maybe you might have one or two, but the rate is still the same as it always been. But then in the cities there, it's like there's so many of them just popping up out of nowhere. Like, oh, this person's actually this. And then this other person, like we have a whole community of everyone just being this way and it's just randomly. Like, it's just happening. It's just natural, right? Oh man. Like, California just had a sudden spike in all these people just coming up into existence for some reason. It's obviously not manufactured because of a specific environment. No. That's a conspiracy theory. 100%.
There was one person, and then all of a sudden everyone is.
Sure, I think it's okay to
that
draw
can
the
only
line.
happen. That can only happen through propaganda, right?
Maybe,
They're
yeah,
suddenly
there's-
being told it's an option. They're kids, right? You want to experiment and you want to be different. You're looking for a way to stand out, and so you hold on. And in the classrooms, you've got teachers that are reinforcing this narrative that is
True.
yes, top down, right? It's like Hollywood in lockstep with the Department of Education that is making these options available. If it was natural, like when I graduated.
Yeah, she's being more hyperbolic, but she's not. She's being hyperbolic, which makes it sound like a conspiracy theory. But there's like lots of truth to what she's saying. But I can't control the way that she says it.
High school, there were gay kids. There were lesbian kids. There wasn't a ton of them. It wasn't an identity. That's another thing. The identity thing
the identity
is very new.
An interesting thing. I agree for sure.
And so it shows you who are they emulating? Who are they copying when they do this stuff?
Exactly.
Because it's an option. It's just being presented to you. It's obviously not natural if it didn't exist naturally. And
I agree, but
True.
culture is a very complicated thing.
Culture is not a complicated thing.
So complicated. I think
Oh, it's such a complicated thing that we can't even like speculate it at all. Like, Candace just has no idea what she's talking about. She's making it seem so simple. So it's obvious, it's complicated. So obviously what Candace is saying is not really true. Like, because it's complicated. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's so complicated. Get out of here, Destiny. That's a cope.
They are
that they have the
deciding
amount of control over culture that you think they do. There's no shot that anybody would be able to top down control that much stuff.
Like I said, there have been.
What do you mean that much stuff? The only thing she's talking about is like people transitioning and stuff like that. She's not talking about the entire culture. Like, you're inflating what Candace is saying again. But at the same time, Candace is being a little bit hyperbolic, so I can sort of give him a little bit of leeway on why he's sort of inflating the hyperbolicness of Candace's statements. But still, that's just, you see that's like a little. I'm gonna give Destiny a pushback on this one because like that's kind of slimy, a little slimy and sneaky, very sneaky. It's very slight, but she's not saying this grand. Like, you're making it sound way worse than what she's actually saying, and she's already being hyperbolic, so you're making it sound way worse.
There's a lot of evidence that has come out, whether you're looking at the Jeffrey Epstein case or you're reading through the 72-page document
which I find is unfair, not fair to Candace whatsoever. So, Destiny. No.
the Diddy lawsuit
Well, I
that
mean, even on the
suggests
Jeffrey-
that the government is involved.
Even on the Jeffrey Epstein case, like, what's suggesting government involvement here?
What do you mean? What do you mean what's suggesting?
Like, what
government
part of the
involvement?
Jeffrey Epstein case is like, oh my God, the government is like playing a part in this?
Well, the fact that he had ties to the Mossad and the CIA, and that when they raided his home, he had his face and about, 6 different passports. Who can issue passports?
Sure, but when we look at
who can issue you a different identity?
I don't know about
countries.
different identities, but for passports, I imagine you can get that illegally, or you can just get it from countries depending on citizenship status.
Well,
but what I'm saying is that, like, for when we look at Epstein, right? Epstein was a billionaire, right?
Why was he a
Candace was insinuating that you could only get the passports from the government. I understand the whole, she's just trying to play into a narrative. Like, that makes sense. Like, it's not a one answer that it's only from the government. It's true that you could definitely find them out in the black market outside of the US, but at the same time, how are people outside the US getting copies or fakes of US passports? Like, other places outside the US shouldn't be able to make them. So that's also a little bit weird. Like, she's insinuating that it's just all government, but I'm saying there's a chance that it could be not just only the government. Like, he definitely could have gotten it like in other different ways. And Destiny's whole point for bringing that up is like, oh, you don't actually know because it could have happened somewhere else, which is basically dismissing what she's trying to insinuate. But what she's insinuating isn't necessarily wrong. Like, Destiny doesn't know the answer to it either. So,
billionaire?
Why? Because of trading or whatever he did? I'm not really sure.
No, that's the question. Nobody knows why him
I don't know
or his
why.
brother
Yeah, but there's like
had
a
billions
million
of
different.
dollars.
Sure, there's lots of people where I don't know how they made their money, but to fill in the gaps of all of this with some
no, you should always know how
conspiracy.
somebody became a billionaire. Like, that's like a very easy thing. Like somebody shouldn't just be like, I became a billionaire and you have no idea how. Like,
I'm sure there are tons of people who
it's
are
like,
billionaires
I sold
that
the
aren't.
product. You know why Elon Musk has money. You know why Jeff Bezos has money. You should not say we can't connect the dots on how this person became a billionaire that was able to purchase
filings
an island.
aren't always going to be public. That like, oh, well, I can figure out exactly why this person became a billionaire. If they don't work in like public traded companies or something, how will you ever know? There's no way you're going to know that.
He did.
Then what's the question?
That's not a question. It's just
That's it. You caught her. Candace, he caught you, man. He caught you on that one. Let's repeat that. He definitely caught her on that.
person became a billionaire that was able to purchase an
filings
island.
aren't always going to be public. That like, oh, well, I can figure out exactly why this person became a billionaire. If they don't work in like public traded companies or something, how will you ever know? There's no way you're going to know that.
He did.
Then what's the question?
That's not a question. It's just nobody understands why Jeffrey Epstein or his brother have billions of dollars.
Well, what?
But you literally just said that he did to the question that Destiny said. Does he own any publicly traded companies? And you can see like his publicly traded companies and how much he's worth because you would see that he did that, but you still don't know how much he's worth or how he made all those billions, which is kind of weird. To like, that was a little bit of a semantical thing that Destiny did, semantical trick that he did with Candace, and kind of tripped her up a little bit because she like I saw her face. She was like, wait, what am I saying? What are we talking about? What are we doing? Like, Destiny's really, he's very good at debates. Like, he freaking tied her up in a knot right there. That was insane. Like, I'm sorry, Candace, but that hurt. That hurt to watch that.
You just said did he have a ton of shares in publicly traded companies?
What do you mean? Did he have a ton
Like
of
when we
shares in
ask, for
publicly
instance,
traded
like, so here's a question. Do you know how Jeff Bezos made his money or how Elon Musk made his money?
I know that Jeff Bezos created Amazon, and I know that Elon Musk has created a ton of things. Tesla, you got Starlink.
Okay, kind of, so not really. Bezos made his money because of the appreciation of shares of Amazon that he had a huge stake in, right? And Elon Musk made a lot of his money. Initially, it was on PayPal and a couple of other ventures, and then because he had a huge equity stake in SpaceX and Tesla, especially, that's where they made their money. Is ownership of stock of publicly traded companies. That's what I'm saying. We can look at those people. We can say we know how they made their money. So I don't think Epstein had massive shares in publicly traded companies, did he? So he wouldn't have made.
Did you actually look into the Epstein case, or are you just, because I can't tell right now if your thing is just to be contrarian?
Okay, hold on.
No, I'm being serious. No, I'm asking you because it seems like you're just like, whatever your position is, I'm going to take the opposite and I'm going to say something really quickly and try to say, well, how do we know? And it's like that.
I understand Candace's frustration because she literally just like got super confused on what Destiny was saying, and honestly, I saw that. But yeah, oh man, I understand her frustration. I guess let's keep going. But he did caught you, Candace, like, and now she's a little bit, I want to say triggered. Not really, but oh man, Candace, please don't. I love you. I like you a lot. I'm trying to keep it real. I don't like calling out Candace, but I have to call it out because that's what's going on. It's the truth. You got tripped up and now you're a little upset. I could see it. Or triggered or whatever.
That's actually quite boring.
Sure,
you know what I mean? Like, so it's like, dude, like, let's actually have a real conversation because tons of stuff is happening right now. A lot of stuff is being exposed, right? Mm-hmm. People are, for the first time, able to grasp a theory that finally makes sense, right? It finally makes sense. It makes sense that there is a blackmail ring operating in DC because we don't understand why we keep sending our politicians to DC and then it's like they completely serve anybody other than the American people, right? So when that Jeffrey Epstein case got exposed, and if you were following it and reading the documents.
I did follow it. I read the entire document, the 80-page report that came out from the government. They did a report on the prison where he supposedly...
He literally did. I didn't actually watch the video, but I saw parts of it, and I was like, oh, he really did actually look into it. And I was like, whatever. I didn't really care too much because the whole... I mean, I probably should have. The Jeffrey Epstein thing was kind of crazy. But I didn't really care to watch Destiny uncover it. Like, I already knew all of it from like other channels. I didn't need to watch Destiny like finally look into the thing. Like when Jeffrey Epstein thing happened, like how many years ago, and now he's like now he's actually looking into it. Like, okay, I don't. I didn't really care to watch Destiny's take on it, but I know he did do research on it.
Got
and
killed
you're
100%.
realizing how many artists have stood up and said this exact same thing was going on. Now you have somebody that has filed something with proof saying it's going on, and then you just have like a Destiny being like, "Oh, what if it's not going on? What if it's not? Whoa.
Okay, well, sure. So here's like a
oh, maybe WAP is just really just not amazing. People just love talking about vaginas and like mopping the floor. It's like you can do that thing, but it's not interesting. You know what I mean?
Okay, sure. All right.
It's
So
like-
here's just an easy test question so I can get my.
That's good. That's a good comeback. Let's go. True. Oh man, I love it.
bearing straight.
Man.
What do you think about the 91 or so indictments for Donald Trump?
What do you mean?
Do you think that those are credible indictments that have credible evidence behind them?
Well, you speak to me specifically about which indictment you're talking
So
about.
the
Let's talk about-
Mar-a-Lago,
let's
the
talk about-
Mar-a-Lago case.
I actually haven't followed that one, so I'm not
Okay.
going to push back on that one. But I
Okay.
can tell you the ones that I have followed, and I've given
Very respectable. She doesn't know it, so I'm not going to say anything about it. Good job.
an answer on. Like, obviously, we've never seen the media or the justice system go after any president in the way that
That
they
doesn't
have.
matter. You could say this.
Yes, it does matter. 100%. How are you going to say it doesn't matter? Like, they're literally throwing spaghetti at a wall and seeing what legal thing sticks. And then now they're deciding to do it. Like, why are they doing it before an election when they realize that, oh, maybe Trump's going to elect? Maybe we should indict him on stuff. Like, they literally indicted, like, they did all this last year when they realized that Trump was going to be running. And that's crazy. Holy crap, man. Like, if all these issues happened with him, like, why didn't you, like, indict him, like, the moment you came into office? Like, oh, Trump did these really terrible things, so we got to indict him, man. Like, he's obviously a bad guy. Why would you wait, like, halfway in the presidency to actually have the DOJ indict Donald Trump? Like, come on, man. Biden's DOJ. That's insane. Like, oh, this is, like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter with all these indictments. Oh, it doesn't matter. Like, the timing and the amount, like, and that's just crazy. That's just insane to me. Oh, it doesn't matter. Oh, whatever. Okay, Destiny, cope with that.
The same about P. Diddy. You've never seen the media go after a black artist.
I didn't
like
say
this
it did.
besides.
It didn't. I didn't finish my statement. Why are you saying it doesn't matter? Why'd you just say that?
I'm just. It could be that nobody's ever done something this.
But I haven't.
Incredible for.
You're so contrarian that you haven't even
I'm
let
not-
me finish.
why do you keep calling me contrarian?
You haven't even let me finish my sentence. You said that doesn't
Okay.
matter. It's like what?
Actually, let's go back. Maybe he really did cut her off.
Well, you speak to me specifically about which indictment you're talking
So
about.
the
Let's talk about-
Mar-a-Lago,
let's
the
talk about-
Mar-a-Lago case.
I actually haven't followed that one, so I'm not
Okay.
going to push back on that one. But I
Okay.
can tell you the ones that I have followed, and I've given an answer on. Like, obviously, we've never seen the media or the justice system go after any president in the way that
That
they
doesn't
have.
matter. You could say the same.
Oh, he literally did cut her off. Let's go. Holy crap. Oh, it doesn't matter. What do you mean it doesn't matter?
Same about P. Diddy. You've never seen the media go after a black artist.
I didn't
like
say
this
it did.
besides.
It didn't. I didn't finish my statement. Why are you saying it doesn't matter? Why'd you just say that?
I'm just. It could be that nobody's ever done something this.
But I haven't.
incredible.
Destiny, you are being super contrarian. You're just being annoying. You're being obnoxious. You are literally doing that. Holy crap. Point it out, Candace. Let's go.
For.
You're so contrarian that you haven't even
I'm
let
not-
me finish.
why do you keep
you
calling
haven't
me
even let
contrarian?
you haven't even let me finish my sentence. You said that doesn't
Okay.
matter. It's like what do you?
Because you
what-
gave a point that was irrelevant.
I know,
Go
but
ahead.
like
You can
I
finish.
don't understand what you're objecting to.
How do you know it's not irrelevant when you don't even know when, she wasn't even finished with her statement? How do you know that her statement's going to be irrelevant to what, like, you don't know what she's going to say next? What she could have said next could be relevant to what she literally just said. Like, bro, oh, it's not irrelevant. That's why I cut you off. Like, what? You just know that what she's going to say next, 100%, right? You can see the future, Destiny? Okay, all right.
You
asked
said
me a
that. You said the
question.
media's never gone after somebody like
Hold
this
on, no,
before.
no.
which
You
doesn't-
asked me
yeah.
a question. I started to answer it by saying the media has never gone after anyone like this before.
Okay.
And then you just said it doesn't matter. It's like, can I answer
Exactly.
the question?
Yeah, loud your phone,
like, or
Destiny.
you just gotta like contradict right
I'm
away.
not contradicting. I'm just
Yeah,
fighting the
you
crazy
kinda
narrative
are.
to prevent anybody from
Yes,
having a
you
real
are.
analysis of what you think's going on.
100%.
But you can lay out your whole thing about
All
what
right,
you think
then
about it.
since you know my narrative, even though you asked the question, I wasn't able to answer it.
You can
I'm
answer the
glad
question.
that you defeat the narrative. No,
Nah, no, we're good.
I'm not
Because
going to have
wait,
you
wait.
ask. I'm not going to actually have you ask a question and then cut me off and say that I'm parroting a narrative when I haven't even told you what my opinion was.
True.
That's not you being interesting. That's you being obnoxious.
True.
I think that you're trying to avoid answering the question.
By being
You cut her off, but she's the one avoiding the question. What? That is retarded. Destiny. What? Bro. Play the clip. This is streamed, man. This is streamed. Play the clip. You just got destroyed in this one. Let's go.
being cut off by you.
I said you could finish it if you think that you're trying to avoid answering the question.
By being cut off by you.
I said you could finish it if you want.
You're trying to avoid answering the question. Quite literally, I was trying to answer the question and you cut me off. So we're good on that. We can move on and talk about something other than Trump and his 95 indictments.
I think it's 91 or 92.
Okay.
Okay, well, what are we talking about that won't get you as triggered?
Okay. I just honestly, like I said to you in the beginning.
She hates the triggered word. She hates it.
I'm just curious what you think about the Trump indictments. Do you think that a civil suit that's filed where there isn't a grand jury that looks over it, there's not like it's not like a DA case, not like a federal prosecutor, do you think that the Diddy stuff is like rock solid? Do you think that's really, really, really important to look at? But then when we look at indictments that have gone to grand juries that have then issued warrants or subpoenas or whatever, I was just curious if you think that the credibility on that side is as heavy as the P. Diddy stuff.
I was really happy to answer that question. Would you like me to answer it?
Sure.
So I would say that you are comparing two cases that are not similar, and I'll tell you why they aren't similar. In the case of Diddy, you have somebody that has no power that is filing this and producing evidence to say that the justice, essentially the same thing that people that defend Trump are saying, the justice system is corrupt, right? That these people are responding and being motivated by things like the LAPD's involvement that night in writing a fake police report, if his allegations are true. And he had photos and said that he was the person that said call 911, and then seeing the media report on it and lie about what happened at that studio is very scary. It's scary if unless he faked these blood photos, which is a plausibility, but it shows you that there are people that are sitting at the top that have a ton of power, right? So the people that are acknowledging that and then also saying that those same people, that same network of individuals that can make up allegations and make them go away with the media or stay and make it a big deal because of the media are defending Trump and what's happening to him. So this isn't, they're actually, these two things are not at conflict with one another, what's happening with Diddy and what's happening with Trump. It's actually, they complement one another in terms of what we're saying. Now, the only case, I've followed two of them, the Fannie Willis one.
Well, can I ask a question about the LAPD thing?
Yeah.
So if we're worried because in the P. Diddy case, it looks like the LAPD at the very top might have been involved with something, if that's the...
Destiny learned his lesson. Now he's going to ask to be able to go, like, to cut her off or to respond. He learned his lesson because he got roasted back there. Let's go. Thank you for being more respectful, Destiny. Let's go.
That's the claim. I mean, isn't Donald Trump at the very, very, very top if he's the president? Isn't he literally like the top guy in the world?
He doesn't.
Are you... Bro, I mean, yes. Like, he's not wrong. But, like, he's been saying since 2016 that they're out to get him. You think someone that's at the top and is able to control everything is going to put out a rhetoric from since the day he was like inaugurated that the media is wrong or fake news or whatever, like that they're out to get him, they're out to just destroy him? Like, you think someone like that is at the top? Like, you just got to think 2 seconds to what Destiny has to, when Destiny says things like that. Like, sure, yeah, he's the president. Obviously, the president's at the top. But when you're talking about specifically with Trump, there's literally been an issue with him. Like, it's you could technically make an argument that he wasn't at the top because of all the media, the negative media coverage that he had. Like, obviously, you can say he had the power of at the top. I don't know. That's just weird for him to just. It's like Destiny's not wrong, but he's insinuating something that's not necessarily true.
Control the courts.
If that's the claim, I mean, isn't Donald Trump at the very, very, very top if he's the president? Isn't he literally like the top guy in the world? He
doesn't control the courts. And that's, I mean, hold on. The point of exactly being is that if they feel that they have a person that they cannot control, so if there is this blackmail ring that exists and it's starting to look like there is definitively, and I very much believe that, and I am not ashamed to say that it is pretty much the only thing that makes sense in Hollywood.
Yeah, we get the point. All right, keep going.
Then it would be clear as to why it is that when you are existing outside of the ring, or you are somebody that cannot be controlled, you are somebody that is attacked. Now, again,
yes.
We have heard many...
Yes, the media cannot control the multi-billionaire. Nope. The media cannot control Mr. Trump. And that's why they didn't like him. 100%. Biden? Yeah, he's an old... Like, you don't even need to try and control him. Like, he's an old dude. You just tell him, oh, this is a good thing. Just sign this good thing. It's going to make Trump look bad. And Biden's like, oh, yeah. Trump? Yeah, Trump bad. Yeah. This is going to make Trump look bad. Yeah, 100%. Let's go.
The artists.
That was
And
a bad,
I like that we have this example in Hollywood
whatever.
because we don't need to go down the path of Trump derangement. We can actually talk about people that we don't feel any way about, right? Diddy, I don't have an issue
Yeah.
with Diddy. You don't have an issue with Diddy. We can look at this case more objectively because people, I think, do.
True. That's why she started out with the whole Diddy stuff and not just go immediately to the Trump stuff, because she knew that Destiny is like so butthurt about Trump. Like, and she's like, I'm not gonna have this a boring conversation with a Trump deranged disorder person. Like, it's just stupid. Like, yeah, we know your opinions. You don't like Trump, so you're not gonna like look at him in the best of light or in any good light at all, actually. So we're not even going to start this. Smart on her to start the whole thing off with the Diddy stuff, which I have no idea about, but it's okay. That's smart of her to do. I give her kudos for that one.
Get so about Trump that you can't just look at things objectively. If
Yep,
that
true.
person is alleging,
Wait, do you think that's what happened here?
That's literally what you do, Destiny. So stop playing around.
I mean, you did jump. I'm glad it's live and you can go back and watch it. But like, I didn't get to. You asked me a question, and then before I could answer my question, you did say like narrative, and I'm like, okay, that feels
Exactly. I mean, not verbatim narrative, but like he literally cut her off when he mentioned something about Trump, and in mentioning Trump in somewhat of a a nice way, and Destiny was like, that's not true. 100%. Like, what? What are you talking about? Huh? What? And then cut her off, basically. And yeah, so you did do that, Destiny. Stop playing around. We can see the clip. I'll post it back in again right here. 100%. Let's go.
and then cut me off and say that I'm parroting a narrative when I haven't even told you what my opinion was.
True.
That's not you being interesting. That's you being obnoxious.
True.
I think that you're trying to avoid answering the question.
By being cut off by you, like the Trump derangement trap. I don't want to do it. I want to have a productive conversation
True.
about the plausibility that people that are extremely powerful are blackmailing people, and these people can't can't speak out because whatever they have on them on camera is scary. You know, there's Justin Bieber. I think there's also something going on with him. His pastor said, pray for them. There are evil forces that in Hollywood, kind of at the same time as this. Cat Williams, I know he used to do crack, whatever, has spoken out about this. There's been a lot of artists that have spoken out about this. Kanye West has spoken out about this, about, the control and the network that's happening within Hollywood. So I think instead of, trying to dismiss these people as crazy or crackheads or whatever it is you want to dismiss them as, when enough people say something, including Michael Jackson, who's dead, maybe there's some truth to it. Like, can we examine whether or not this might be true, especially when somebody is such an underdog like a producer and does something like this?
I think analyzing who's saying what, I think is important. But I think that when we say that somebody's an underdog, so we're going to believe them because they give a story that we might happen to like or plays into something else that we believe. I mean, I would just be critical of the underlying material. Like, if the sources are a few people, like, everybody stands to gain something when it comes to viral stuff. Everybody knows that. When you have outrageous claims to make, and if he has evidence, I think that's interesting.
Otherwise, I would have said, I don't know, it's frivolous. Like, you can always sue a rich person.
But I'm also saying that, like, a charge is a charge, or a claim is a claim, or a filed case is a filed case. It'll be interesting to see what ends up playing out in court, and then we actually see
that. I'm keen to see that. That's what I want.
You see that little thing that Destiny did? He basically tried to insinuate that she didn't actually know any of the evidence and she's only trying to do that. And she had to point that out and call him out on that. Like, she wouldn't have a stance on it if she didn't see any evidence whatsoever, but she still has a stance on it. But Destiny tried to insinuate that she didn't actually know that there was any, basically, insinuate. That's my new favorite word. He insinuated basically that Candace had a stance on something that didn't see any evidence. Like, that's basically what he sort of said. Yeah.
Want to see. I'm not condemning the person. I'm not a person that believes that you. I would hope, and I obviously have lost faith in the court system in some ways, but I would hope that
she lost. Remember that specific point. She lost hope in the court system in some ways, not the court system as a whole. Not like very specific here. Because Destiny's going to be like, oh, you don't like the court? Or like all the court? And then make her statement seem way more hyperbolic than it actually is. He's going to do it again, watch.
That it works the way it's supposed to work, and that it will take more evidence, and that he has to appear in front of people and show us more evidence and show us more video evidence of what's going on. But
so when you
what I will say is that it looks credible.
Okay. When you say that you've lost faith in the court system, does that mean that if a guilty...
That's not what she said. So you're coming off of a fake premise. But can you continue on? Because, like, that's what you like to do. You don't like adding context to what she literally just said.
Verdict is returned. You'll think it was a good case, but if a
No,
non-guilty verdict is returned, are you gonna?
means.
Oh, okay. Well, why would you preface with I've lost faith in the court system?
Because I have seen
In some ways. Come on, Destiny. All right, take her out of context. Good job, Destiny.
some circumstances in which things that should not happen do happen. And a good example of that, if you want to talk about the craziest case that I followed in a long while, it was the defamation one, where the jury awarded, she was asking for what, 10 million, and they awarded her for 400 or 800 million just to like bankrupt Trump, and her allegations had expired, but they created a new law in New York so that she could bring them forth about something that she says happened in 1996. What is that whack lady's name? She got, and she was so...
Wait, are you talking about when they extended the...
E. Jean Carroll.
Statute of limitations to allow people to sue people relating to
And then
rape?
she got funded to reopen this. They changed the law, and then she got funded by the person who is basic... I don't want to call him a Democrat operative, but he obviously is very involved in the Democratic Party. The person that started LinkedIn is the one that funded her to do this lawsuit. I mean, the whole thing is the craziest thing I've ever seen. It's just like making new laws.
I thought this law was changed in New York a while ago.
No,
I don't
it
think
wasn't.
It's specifically for Trump.
No, it wasn't. Nope. It was specifically after she went on and was doing the rounds on... and those were wacky when she was like, I don't even know, when he was like, what is rape? Anderson Cooper asked her, and she was like, I think most people think rape is sexy. It's not someone jumping on you and da-da-da-da. You know, it'd be great for this if you could bring up clips like that.
Yeah, she is definitely a crazy person.
To be able to watch it, but she was so clearly clinically insane.
Not Candace, but the person that she was mocking, basically. I mean, that's a bit mean for me to... It's a bit hyperbolic for me to say that she was mocking her, but whatever.
She was so insane that even Anderson Cooper had to go to commercial, MSNBC had to go to commercial. So this is not a woman, you know, that was making what any person who can listen to somebody interview about their rape would say are credible allegations. But there was just such hatred for Trump that they just made it happen. And in no circumstance, I can't imagine what circumstances somebody asks for like 10 million and the judge is like, no, you're going to give you 400 million. Other than we hate Trump so much and we hope to bankrupt him.
Was this a jury trial?
There were multiple parts of this lawsuit, but it was...
Because if it went to trial and if it was a jury, then...
Yeah, it was jury trial, yes.
Does anybody have a link to that rape clip? I'm curious if anybody has ever heard a conversation.
It's rape. We just got to look at it. It's so nutty and so crazy, and they just kept going.
Notice how there isn't an edit for, like, this is Destiny's, like, editor. Notice how the editor didn't decide not to add any clips of that, because I did actually see that, and that person is a weird person, the one that accused Trump of doing that, and then she went on NBC and said that, or maybe Trump is suing her back for that. Like, it's basically defamation at that point. That's crazy.
Going with it everywhere she went, left and right. People could not hold a conversation with her. She was so unstable, and she couldn't even define what rape was. She was just saying, I think rape is just like, you know, when someone thinks you're sexy. So it's like, so did Trump just think you were sexy? She had no witness. I mean, I've just never seen anybody able to get for, or however many millions of dollars she got, with absolutely not a shred of proof, and a case that shouldn't have even have been brought forward according to your own statute of limitations.
Also, people are saying that the 400 million is that's for the business fraud case. Maybe the...
sorry, yeah, I'm mixing numbers. What was how much was she awarded for you guys that are like, checking? She was awarded, they gave her more than she even asked for. Yeah, they literally extended the law. The whole thing was so rotten to its core. That makes you lose faith, right? That makes you lose faith in the justice system. That's not saying that there aren't cases. There are different judges. There are different juries. With Trump, it's hard because people are passionate about him one way or the other. So it's going to be hard not to find a jury that is corrupt, especially when you're in New York. But I don't see how any person can objectively look at what happened there.
Wait, what does that mean, a corrupt jury?
Like, are you retarded, Destiny? Obviously, it's a jury that's like super biased against or for you. That's corrupt. Like, bro, I like how he has like the most retarded questions when he's like he's supposed to be super smart, but he doesn't know that answer. Like, even I knew it, and I'm not that smart. I don't know a lot of things. Like, Destiny knows a lot of things, but he just didn't know this one. Okay. Like,
emotionally corrupted, because when it comes to Trump, people tend to feel either I love him so much or I absolutely hate him and he's the end of the world. So I think it's hard to get a jury that, you know, is going to be fair in that circumstance because he's so...
Do you know, where is P. Diddy being sued at?
All right, I'm done with this. I'm getting bored. I'm only halfway done, but I'm done with this. I'm bored. I don't really care. If you want me to watch the rest of it, throw a like down in the comments below. Thank you very much. And But remember to like and subscribe, comment, share too. Thank you very much. But yeah, if you want me to watch the rest of this, just throw a comment down below. Like literally, just do what I just said before. Minus the like and subscribe button. Like, yeah, you don't need to do that. But the comments down below. Let's do that. Thank you. Come on, engagement. Let's go. And thanks for watching.